Hi and welcome to Car and Mechanical, and today I'm going to take you through how to replace your battery terminals. Now recently I replaced my alternator and I realised that my negative terminal wasn't clamping down tight enough. Even when I ended up using a bit of a can just to try and pad things out a bit, it just wouldn't clamp tight to the battery, and you can see I've just pulled it off by hand there, even though that terminal has been clamped as hard as I possibly could do it. So we're going to take both terminals off the battery. I want to pop them to one side and I also want to take the battery out. The access is a little bit tight here and I need to do things like take the amp wire off, take all the extra power connections off that you can see there as well, and I just want to give myself some working room. So we're going to take both of the terminals off, you're going to pull the battery out, and then we're going to move across and we're going to cut the terminals off. Now when you cut the terminals off, make sure that you've got enough room that when you put new terminals on, everything can reach. If your current terminals are extremely tight to your current battery or to your current setup, if you're taking about an inch or two off, you're going to find that even tighter. Now I've got the slack there, so I'm happy with that. So you're going to want some wire cutters or some heavy duty bolt cutters or something that can just get in there and can cut this very heavy gauge wire. So I take a couple of attempts here just to get through the negative terminal. We're going to take that off, and then we're going to move on to the positive terminal once we've taken off the amp wire and once we've taken off all of the general wiring that we can see that moves over to the fuses there as well. Okay, so we're going to finish cutting off all the wiring that we don't need. So we're going to take off this positive terminal, and I managed to get this done much quicker, but it still takes quite a bit of pressure just to cut through there. But whilst you watch me finish up there, I'm just going to talk through the new terminals. So the new terminals I got from eBay. They were about £3. There are cheaper ones, there are more expensive ones, but I just needed ones that I could connect my amp wiring to and anything else I may need to connect in the future. So we have the new brass terminals there. We're going to move across and I'm going to cut away a length of outer shielding on the wire. I cut it a bit short at first. I may as well show you everything that I have done here, because if you can end up doing the same yourself. So when you get the terminal, just make a marking with the wire how much exactly you want to cut off, so you save yourself a bit of time that I don't save myself here, but you'll see with the second terminal I do it much quicker. So it's a bit short there. We're going to cut some more away, and as we get that to the right length, we're just going to twist it and we're going to do a test fit in a second. So that now to me looks about the right sort of length. And if we get the terminal, you're going to take the screws out of it. You're going to place it facing in the right direction, because remember it's going to have to fit over your battery afterwards. So you're going to place it through, so it's almost the way through the terminal, but definitely enough so that screw can go into it. And you can finger tighten that screw, and then eventually you're going to start to get resistance, so you can use a screwdriver. Now what I also need to do here, I need to put on the car's power connections, so things that like the relays and everything, they're going to get plugged into it, and also my amp connection as well. But I'm just going to place the battery on the terminal first, because it makes it a bit easier for me to gauge exactly what I need to do or how I'm going to place everything, because this was actually quite fiddly. Probably could use a third pair of hands here just to get everything lined up and then to place the screw in, but you will just get there. Also, it's worth pointing out, not every car is going to have the same setup as mine. You might literally have a positive and negative battery terminal that clamps on, and everything else is either split out in the car, or you don't have things like an extra amp in the car like I have, for example. What we're going to do now is I'll make sure everything's tightened up, and I'm going to start to tighten up the battery terminals themselves. So I'm going to use a ratcheting spanner, and I'm going to use another one just to block the other side. So there's actually like a square clamp there, but I just wanted to stop it moving initially. And we're just going to ratchet the terminals up, and you'll see them get tighter and tighter and tighter. And stop when you're happy with everything, and just give everything a quick test to make sure that that battery terminal is going to stay on there. So either pull it up or try and pry it with a screwdriver. Just make sure it's going to stay solidly there. Okay, so we're going to move over to the negative terminal, and we're going to do exactly the same thing again, but hopefully you got a little bit of a better view, and I'm a bit quicker in doing it this time as well. So you're going to cut out the outer shielding, you're going to undo the screws, you're going to pop the terminal and its wiring through, or you're going to pop the wiring through the terminal, and you're going to start to tighten everything up. Now, nothing extra to connect to this one, which is great, but if you want to in the future, you might find a need to. You can take one of those screws off and put everything onto there. You're going to clamp the terminal up. That's it, you're done. It's literally a 10 to 15 minute job. And what I'm just going to show you here is, remember the original terminal, how easily that came off by hand? To give that a pull, I'm going to put my fingers in and putting quite a bit of force under it, and it's not shifting. There you go, for £3 I've managed to secure my battery terminals and to make sure that it's not going to slip off whilst I'm on the motorway and that I'm not going to have the car stall out on me or worse. However, I'm really happy with the result of this. It was a nice cheap job, it was nice and quick to do. Hopefully in watching this you found this handy if you need to do it yourself. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, please hit that like button. And if you think this video is going to be handy for other people, please hit that share button. Thank you for watching.